Hi, I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and this is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, December the 12th. And it looks like it's going to end up being a wet day. Let's get right to the Skycam images, and here's a look at Tuscaloosa, and you can see all the clouds out there. Lots of clouds showing up from the tallest point in Alabama, Mount Cheaha, and a little bit of, looks like maybe a little bit of fog in some of the valleys down there, looking off from Cheaha and the restaurant up there. And how about a wet shot? This is Dauphin Island, and rain is down that way. We'll look at radar in just a moment. Okay, once again, we have a culprit down in the northwestern Gulf that is spreading a lot of moisture. The flow southwesterly down there, so a lot of moisture being spread over, overrunning kind of situation, and that is creating a lot of clouds as well as some rain. In the upper atmosphere, it's a little bit of a southwesterly flow, as I just mentioned, and that is bringing a good deal of moisture our way, as well as little embedded impulses in the flow that are helping to trigger precipitation. Now, across the country, temperatures are rather chilly. The 32-degree line is that red line, and it's a little further north than it was last weekend, but still, I'd say probably about 70% of the country is below freezing. And then look at some of those temperatures up there in central Canada. Oh my gosh, minus 42, minus 45. That is downright cold. Well, fortunately, nothing like that is headed our way. And as a matter of fact, our temperatures are generally above the freezing mark in the middle and upper 30s for the most part. That shows up quite well, and especially the dew points. Notice quite the dew point change from the rain areas across South Alabama to Central Alabama, where dew points are still in the 20s. And that certainly makes quite a difference. We'll look at the upper air sounding in just a moment. Looking a little closer, or looking at the Southeastern U.S., you can see that the 32-degree line runs from about Dyersburg down across the Muscle Shoals area and then over into northern Georgia. Okay, here's the radar, and you can see a lot of overrunning. It is gradually spreading north, and as a result, we expect to see some rain. Now, the rain could begin just briefly with some sleet, but I don't think we're going to see too many problems or issues. No accumulation expected at all, but it should switch over quite quickly as the atmosphere warms up. Now, here's here's the upper air sounding from Shelby County Airport. Unfortunately, they're taking the one this morning, so we can't see what's happened overnight, but we can see, of course, that real dry air right near the surface, which is going to bring temperatures down when the precipitation starts, and that could create briefly some sleet. I don't think it's going to be enough to cause any bridge icing this morning, because it looks like the rain's going to come a little bit later, and we should see enough warming that we will be above freezing. QPF-wise, rainfall expected to be quite heavy as we have a couple of weather systems over the next 5 days, and it looks like 3 to 4 inches across the southern half of the state of Alabama, and across central Alabama it looks like on the order of probably about 1.5 to 2.5 inches of precipitation. Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking a specific area, although they are watching the central Gulf Coast in the Louisiana area where you see that C text, but thunderstorms are possible across that area of the southeastern U.S. That are outlined. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model run. And here is the surface map for today. The surface high is off the Virginia coast and the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and that is allowing moisture to spread into the area as we get an overrunning situation. In the upper atmosphere, the little short wave comes through and keeps us wet through Sunday, and so by Sunday noon, I think we should see some drying in the late afternoon on Sunday, and we should dry out pretty much by Monday, although the GFS is indicating the possibility of maybe with clouds we might see just a little bit, but I think for the most part we'll be dry. By Tuesday, a strong short wave is coming out of across the southern flow, and that is coming out of Texas, and that should bring another round of wet weather our way for Tuesday, the 15th of December, the Ides of December, if you will. By Wednesday, that short wave is phasing up a little bit with the bigger trough across the north, but that is off to our east, and the result is we're going to see cold air across the Ohio River Valley, but it appears that most of the colder air will stay to our north, but we will, be cool. So just keep that in mind, and the rain is over. We stay in a somewhat shallow northwesterly flow, so we'll have to watch for temperature forecasts, and that meaning that the thicknesses that we're looking at from 500 millibars or from 1,000 to 500 millibars may not be completely representative, but at least for the most part, we can see that the cold air stays well to our north, but we will stay about seasonable for this time of year. Another short wave is coming down through the northwesterly flow. That's the one that's up there in Iowa and the western Great Lakes, and that one will bring another surface low and looks like another snowstorm to the Great Lakes area on Friday. But you see, for us, it looks like we're going to stay dry with that kind of flow. And that short wave moves through quickly along the mid-Atlantic coast by Saturday. And once again, I think that's going to keep us relatively dry. That is, we may see some passing clouds, but it doesn't look like any serious precipitation for us on Friday and Saturday. And then finally, a week from tomorrow, Sunday, surface high, and it looks like just a very pleasant fallish day as we're approaching the start of winter. Now, real quick, let's go out into voodoo country, and here is Thursday the 24th, the day before Christmas, Christmas Eve, and the action is all well to our west. And in addition to that, on the 27th, we see another fairly strong shortwave in the southern stream, and that could help to create a fairly wet pattern, especially along the Gulf Coast, but it looks like for us, we'll probably be dry. Well, we appreciate you tuning into the Weather Extreme video. Looking forward to my daughter coming in from Chicago. Very cold up there, but not so cold down here. So, but I expect to have the next Weather Extreme video in place by about 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. Hope that you have a great Saturday, and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.